Hey, welcome to Stray Reviews. I'm Lee. And way back when I started this channel, years ago, about 6 years ago, I did a review of the Wim Hof Method original video course. And at that time, when I made the video, I had just started my journey of practicing breathing and cold exposure and mindful meditation. And I talked about how it really made a difference in my life. And so today what I wanted to do is, since it's been 6 years, I wanted to give you a 6-year update, my 6-year journey, and just let you know if and how the Wim Hof Method is still affecting my life. So, like anybody who, grabs onto or discovers a method that they find makes a difference in their lives, way back 6 years ago, I remember just telling everybody about it. I was telling all my friends to, take the Wim Hof course. I was, just preaching it from the mountaintops. Hey, you got to check this out, because it made such a difference. And so to this day, like 6 years later, people still ask me, hey, you still taking cold showers? And I think it's funny that people don't ask me, are you still breathing? Nobody asks me, are you still doing, a focus exercise or mindful meditation? They're just fascinated by the idea that somebody would take a cold shower. And so my answer is always yes, 6 days a week. Now, one of the biggest differences is when I tell somebody about the Wim Hof Method today, it's no longer so obscure. Many of them have heard of it. Maybe they have a friend that does it. Maybe they have a family member that does it. The Wim Hof Method has actually become a huge phenomenon over the last 6 years. Now, in case you're one of the people who have never heard of the Wim Hof Method, the Wim Hof Method is a unique approach, a really unique approach to optimizing health and fitness, because it uses elements that we don't normally think of when we think of optimizing health and fitness. It uses cold exposure, breathing practices, and mindful meditation. And the people who use or practice the Wim Hof Method, they claim that it improves physical performance, that it boosts energy, that it reduces stress and anxiety. Now, like I said, I did make a review video of the original Wim Hof Method video course years ago. And also, I made a video comparing the original video course with the fundamentals course. And I'm going to leave a link to those original reviews from way back when in the description below. So before I go on, you might be asking, are you telling me that what they do in the video course, you do every day or 6 days a week? And I have to make this disclaimer. No, actually, what I've done is I've sort of distilled it down to the 3 core elements. When you take the video, they do teach you things like, brown fat activation and yoga poses. In the fundamentals course, they talk about the power breath. My practice every day, what it looks like now after 6 years, is I do about 30 minutes of breathing. To be precise, I do 4 rounds of 40, 45 breaths. I do a 5-minute meditation, just a 5-minute focus, and I take cold showers. Now, once in a while, I do have a tub out on the back porch, and once in a while, I'll jump in that. But that's not a normal practice for me. I'm just talking about how just the daily 6 days a week of half-hour breathing, 5 minutes meditation, and taking a cold shower. I'm gonna take a shower anyway, so I might as well make it cold. So for me, what I wanted to do is I wanted to take the Wim Hof Method and make it a practice that I could do every day and keep it sustainable for the rest of my life. I can't sustain jumping in an ice tub every day for the rest of my life. I can't sustain doing, a half an hour, 45 minutes of yoga poses. I do other exercises. So for me, I've distilled it down to the breathing, the cold shower, and the 5-minute meditation. So what have I learned over the last 6 years, and how has it helped me? And in what areas have I maybe been a little bit disappointed? So today, in this 6-year review of the Wim Hof Method, I'm going to go over the good, the bad, and the bottom line. Okay, first of all, the good. I just want to get this out of the way. You might be wondering, are the claims that Wim makes about the method true? Because they do seem kind of outlandish. Like, it's no wonder that Scott Carney, if you're not familiar with him, he wrote the book, What Doesn't Kill Us, I believe is what it's called, What Doesn't Kill You. He wrote that book with the intention of disproving Wim Hof, and he ended up putting that practice into his life. So a lot of people wonder, are these claims true? Yes, they are. Yes, the claims are true. It helps. Okay, before I started the Wim Hof method, I would probably be laid up from work, once or twice or 3 times for at least 1 week periods. And sometimes that involved going to the doctor, getting an antibiotic because I had bronchitis or a bad sinus infection. Even sometimes I get bad ear infections, which I thought you were supposed to outgrow those when you got older. But over the last 6 years, only 3 times have I really been sick enough to miss work or be out of work for a few days. And 2 of those times were from COVID. And out of those 3 times where I was sick enough to miss, a few days of work, in none of those cases did I have to go to the doctor. In none of those cases did I have to go on a prescription. So I would say 100% that doing the Wim Hof method has dramatically increased my immune system. Also, there were smaller things that have improved. Normally I would get 1 or 2 cold sores a year. And now it's like 1 or 2 cold sores every 3 years. I used to get canker sores. They would line my bottom lip. They were so painful. And it's just, you couldn't eat anything spicy for about a week. I've not had a single canker sore in my mouth in 6 years. I've had fewer allergy symptoms, which is a welcome change. And overall, my energy has increased. But probably the most important thing is before I was doing the Wim Hof method, I used to suffer from severe bouts of depression. And it was difficult for me to focus. I had no vitality. I mean, when you have depression that bad, it's almost like you don't even want to live. You just want to lay down and fall asleep and never wake up. But practicing the Wim Hof method, it's almost like it kind of took my mood or took me out of that depression, sort of made me more like level, emotionally level. And I'm so thankful for that. Nowadays, those depression episodes are fewer or far between, or more far between, and they're less intense if and when they do happen. Stressful situations at work don't induce the kind of anxiety in me that they used to. True story, just a few days ago, in fact, less than a week ago, just a few days ago, I was down in one of the Caribbean countries, and we were flying out, and they had this smallish airport, and in the airport, they had 3 gates sort of like down this ramp, 3 or 4 gates down this ramp, and it was a small room, and they had an issue where one of the planes didn't take off, and there were hundreds of people, including myself, packed into this small room, shoulder to shoulder. You could barely move. If you wanted to go to the bathroom, too bad. There's no way you'd ever get over to the bathroom. If you wanted to, get out of this room, forget about it. You'd have to maybe crowd surf your way out. Good luck. And in those situations where people are packed in with like sardines, that used to create so much anxiety in me. And one of the things that I noticed is I went through that whole situation just cool as a cucumber because I did my breathing that morning and I was fine. So in short, the money that I spent on the original course and then eventually the fundamentals course is the best money I have ever spent on my health. In fact, I believe that the money that I spent on the courses I have made back several times over because I have not had to pay a penny in medical expenses ever since I did the Wim Hof method. So what are some bad things about the Wim Hof method? Well, The only things that I have found that might land in the bad column aren't necessarily with the method itself, but with things associated with the method. For example, having questions answered about the method can be difficult if you don't know where to look. Like if you're not part of the forums because you don't have the class, you haven't bought the class. So maybe you're just reaching out to Facebook and they have a group of 200,000 people. And so when you ask a question there, you can get some very varying answers. And sometimes those answers can be confusing or conflicting. For example, one person might say, if you have the question, should I continue taking cold showers when I'm sick? For example, one person might say, yeah, keep on doing them. And another person might say, no, switch to hot until you're feeling better. So sometimes answers to questions can be confusing or conflicting. The other thing has to do with the app. Sometimes the rules change on the app. I'll give you an example. It used to be that if you used the guided breathing module on the app, it didn't require a subscription if you own the course, which I own the course. So I've been using, the guided breathing, on the app for years. And then all of a sudden the policy changes and no, now you have to be a subscriber to use guided breathing. And so little things like that are kind of a nuisance, but the method itself is awesome. The bottom line is that the Wim Hof method works. It's a game changer, and it's, was a game changer for me. And I can say that after 6 years, it's changed my life. Now, there are a lot of people out there, and they want to learn the method, and they're trying to pick up pieces of the method, maybe through YouTube videos or asking questions on the Facebook group. If that's you, if you're like, I'm just trying to learn bits and pieces, I've got some health issues, I heard that Wim Hof Method works, just buy the course. You can pick up the original video course now for $119. Now, that's the price of one doctor visit. Think about that. I have not had to pay for a doctor visit in 6 years. So if that's a lot of money for you, I would say save your money. Pick up an odd job. Do a yard sale. It is worth every penny and then some. I know that sounds like a glowing endorsement. I know I sound like a commercial, but after 6 years, I can honestly say it has changed my life. So let me know in the comments below. Did you take the course and it really helped you out a lot? Did you try the method for 6 months and it didn't do anything for you? Let me know your experience below. And that's all I've got to say about this. We will catch you next time.